You did it!
We are spitting bars on this Halloween, a very happy Halloween. The crew is dressed this morning around the studio. You'll see them as the morning continues. But we begin last night in South Florida where the Ravens showed up and the Dolphins seemed to forget the game was scheduled. Early first quarter, Dolphins are up 3-0. Miami's got the ball deep in their own territory. Harry, this is Taj Washington's first catch of his career.
Yeah, just like they drew it up. Not. It's definitely going to be memorable, though.
Yeah, memorable is right. It's pulled away. The Ravens take over in great shape. Then off the turnover, Dolphins a fourth down. But Bart, there's Mark Andrews.
So Mark Andrews, old, reliable. It's good to see Lamar Jackson back and feeling good.
Final seconds of the first quarter now. Ravens up 7-3. It's a third down. And Peter, watch Lamar extending the play and then finding Isaiah Likely.
It's amazing what happens with these tight ends. It's not only Likely and Andrews. Charlie Kohler got involved. Lamar, he's back and he looked good last night.
He did. The hamstring looked good. Here he is on a 2nd and 7. You mentioned Mark Andrews. That's his second touchdown of the night. Ravens take a 14-3 lead. Andrews' 12th career game with multiple receiving touchdowns, most of any tight end in the span he's been in the league. Now, just over a minute to go in the half. 4th and 2 in the red zone, and Harry, they throw it to no one in particular.
Yeah, I understand it's Halloween. Trick or treat. Yeah, definitely trick everybody with that play design. Let's get our running back matched up, one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL.
Disaster.
Black licorice.
Third quarter now. Hey, Bart, that hammy looks okay, doesn't it?
Yeah, he ain't stretching out. He kept it at like an idle 3. But, we know it's getting better as the game goes on.
It didn't need any more. Who'd you mention before? Charlie Kohler?
Yes.
Boom!
What was this when he was a Jet?
Third passing touchdown of the night for Lamar. It's 21-6. Next Ravens possession. How about we make it 4? How about Zay Flowers for 39 yards to put them in the scoring zone? Jackson, 18 of 23, 204 4 yards, 4 touchdowns, super efficient. Did I say 4 touchdowns? Yes, I did, because here's Rashad Bateman going to catch the 4th. So the Ravens win it big, 28-6. They're back in business. John Harbaugh loves it. On the other side, not so much.
Wow.
Fans letting him know how they feel. And Mike McDaniel did not actually stay to see the end. He's running off with time still left on the clock. Here was Lamar after with SVP.
We feel good. Like you said, we got everybody coming back healthy. We just got to stay dialed down. I know what's ahead of us. Knowing it's do or die right now. Starting the season off extremely slow. We've never been in this situation, not since I've been here. But we just got to lock in and keep doing what we're doing.
That's a 2-time MVP for a reason, and he looked incredible tonight. I know that we're just going to continue to get better and better and better. And 8 leading the charge. We're a dangerous team.
So the Ravens are 3-5. And they're a mortal lock to win their division, according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook. They're minus 150. Joe Fortenbaugh, our betting expert, is with us every Friday. Can you explain, for those who don't speak gambling, just how significant this is? This team is 3-5. They were 1-5 5 days ago. What are those odds telling us?
Don't look at the team on the left. Look at the lack of confidence in the other 3 options. You put one viable contender in there, that pricing is going to completely flip. But there's no confidence in Cleveland. I don't think anyone needs me to explain that.
Right.
Cincinnati's defense is obviously a problem, as is the Burrow injury. And then with Pittsburgh, at times it's good, but the ceiling is so low. Baltimore's where it's at from the power ranking perspective.
So that makes sense from the division standpoint. But, Harry, as we all know, Lamar Jackson and these Ravens, it's not about making the playoffs. They want to be a Super Bowl contender. Do you believe they are?
Not right now. And looking at that game last night versus the Miami Dolphins, it was a lot of mistakes from the Miami Dolphins side of things, right? You had the 4th and 1 that you were going to go for. You had a false start penalty. You just mentioned or showed that fumble by that wide receiver on his first catch of his career. You had a slot fade on a running back versus one of the best players in the National Football League defensively. Inexcusable in my opinion. So I thought it was a lot of things that Miami did to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
That rather than make me feel confident about the Baltimore Ravens. Let me say this one more thing, Greg.
Yes.
When I look at the AFC North, this is the only division in football where I don't trust any of the 4 teams in that division.
Right.
Not one of them.
But thus it makes sense to you that Baltimore, just based if only on their history and their quarterback, would be the team that people are favoring. So Bart, you have some ideas. You're a Raven down deep somewhere inside of you still. You have some ideas of some phone calls they should make between now and next Tuesday?
Yeah, I really didn't like the run defense, and I really don't like that they're forcing Roquan Smith to have to do all the heavy lifting, whether it's take the tight end, whether it's run with the running back. See, the history of the Baltimore Ravens is Ray Lewis was able to sit in the middle and go sideline to sideline, whether it's myself, Jamie Sharpe, or Ed Hartwell. We did all the dirty work. And I think they really have to go out there. They have to address the linebacker position. The last time this defense was dominant, it had Patrick Queen, and it allowed Roquan to be able to sit in the middle and be able to do everything he needs to do. A guy like Quincy, a guy on his last year.
Let's say the names. Quincy Williams.
Quincy Williams or Demario Davis. They got to get an adult in the room, somebody that can bring a lot of juice and energy to let Roquan be the leader that he is in the maestro in the middle. They're asking too much of everybody else, and Kyle Hamilton can only do so much. They can't generate a pass rush, so they're blitzing. To do that, you need linebackers that are smart on the second level.
Trigger, this is kind of a nice week, I think, to have a Thursday game, right? Because you got a little extra time to assess and look around a little bit. Should we expect the Ravens to be active between now and the deadline, which is next Tuesday?
When looking at trade deadline in the NFL, always look at the general manager, what their history is. And already we've seen Eric DeCosta, the GM of the Ravens, go out and get Alohi Gilman, which we have already seen pay dividends because Kyle Hamilton can now be the chess piece. In recent years, he has traded for Tre'Davious White at the deadline, Deontay Johnson at the deadline, Roquan Smith near the deadline, and Yannick Ngakoue a couple years back. I always look at the GM. Howie Roseman's going to be talking. Brandon Beane's going to be talking. Eric DeCosta is always someone you watch in situations like this when it comes to trade deadline. And to your point, 10 days now to really assess things, but really 4 days. The other side of it, Miami could be in fire sale mode right now. Bradley Chubb is a highly priced player that could be moved. You're looking at Jalen Phillips, who was a first-round pick. People like, he might be on the move. And, of course, they've got Matthew Judon on that roster, who has been a piece that a lot of people have used in recent years. He could be on the move. So those three pass rushers, look for them to be possible trade pieces over the next 2 days.
Okay, I like all of that to keep an eye on. And I want to get to the Miami side of it a little later in the program today, and we will. But let me come back to you here quickly, if I can. If there was a good bet that comes out of last night, because I assume the Ravens at minus 150 to win the division is not a real exciting one. What is exciting?
No, we talked about it last week. You had to get ahead of that. The divisional odds, the win total, all of that's been adjusted since. If you're looking for something to play into today, might I interest you in Lamar Jackson as the MVP at 50-1. 50-1 sounds insane, but if you do a blind resume here, Jackson, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. Patrick Mahomes, your MVP leader, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 79% completion percentage, or I should say 72% completion percentage for Jackson. Statistically, everything's there. It's just the lack of wins, which are coming with a softer schedule, and on top of that, the missed games. But think of the narrative behind Lamar Jackson's MVP push. He was snubbed last year in the eyes of many with Josh Allen winning, and if he leads this team back from the dead, everyone's going to be on that train by the end of the year. We'll forget about the injuries.
It's actually, when you look at how bad they were without him, it actually could. I find this stuff fascinating. I'm one who thinks the MVP discussion is important because while we sometimes downplay its significance and relevancy in the moment, when we start judging players in retrospect, when we start talking about what did they accomplish in their career, how many MVPs they won is a huge factor in this. So, Bart, the idea that a guy misses a couple of games, maybe that is the definition of value. Usually I feel like in football, he missed 3 games, he's out of the MVP conversation. Maybe the reverse should be true.
Yeah, because you can see it coming, right? Because you see what they look like without him. It was almost hard to watch. I never saw people boo the team in Baltimore ever. But, they were doing that. And the fact that, Lamar Jackson is back, you see how dynamic he is. You see how easy in which he scores. And you see how dynamic this offense can be in the different ways in which he can be effective, whether throwing the ball, being able to buy time in the pocket, or being able to run the ball, or being able to have, I believe, one of the most complex run games in all of football. That takes a lot of football acumen.
Let me also, for the viewers, explain. The MVP award is not done and voted on by AI. It is done by humans, and it is done by several people that you see on TV and read their stuff every day. You can look it up. It's all public.
Yeah.
Narrative matters. Whether you like it or not, narrative matters. And sometimes we control some of that. If Lamar takes his team back from the ashes and they go on this wild run, you better believe there's going to be momentum. And the word valuable, to Joe's point, most valuable player. Well, they stunk without him, and they're a team that's contending for the Super Bowl with them. It's a very good narrative if that's the case.
Greeny, I'll give you an example from last night's game. That 3rd and 4, that 35-yard completion to Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
I don't know how Lamar Jackson didn't get sacked on that play.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Phillips missed the sack. Any other quarterback, in my opinion, probably outside of 2 more in the National Football League, gets sacked in that situation. Explosive players created. They go out on that drive, and Mark Andrews scores a touchdown.
All right, so Week 9 has begun, but most of the action is still in front of us. So let's do a special Freaky Friday forecast for a holiday weekend. Oh, look how spooky we have here. All right, Bart, give me a